Hello and welcome to the next installment of the Wind Speaks audio blog. Today I wanted to talk about intuition. And I'll start off by sharing a definition of intuition that I was given, I guess it would have been during my coach training, which was about 20 years ago. And the teacher shared that your intuition is the knowing of something without prior knowledge or reason. The knowing of something without prior knowledge or reason. And then I had another teacher that added on to that, and she said, your intuition is always right, but it's your interpretation that might be off. So let's look at both of those things, and I'll start with the second one. Our interpretation, our mind likes to make sense of things. Our mind likes to understand. And so our mind is limited. It can only be reflecting on past experiences and measuring everything that happens against those past experiences. So intuition goes outside of that. It's outside of the mind. And physically, our intuition comes from not our mind, it comes from our body. And this is an important part of being able to connect to our intuition. It's dropping out of our mind. Stop trying to make sense of everything and listen to the whisper of our intuition. And this is another challenging part of connecting with our intuition, is the fact that it is a gentle nudge. It's a gentle whisper that happens once. If we miss it, it's hard to get it back, because it's very much about being in the moment. So connecting to our intuition is very much about slowing down, connecting with our body, reducing the noise, whether it's external noise, whether it's the internal noise of our mind, which means that we need to develop some sort of practice to create space for our intuition to come in. And for me, intuition shows up when I'm in nature. It shows up when I'm quiet in the present moment. I think I get a lot of intuitive ideas when I'm in the shower. There's something about water for me. So for you, it might be like being in the lake, swimming at a pool. It comes in those moments where everything kind of stops. Everything gets quiet. And then all of a sudden, that voice of our intuition can speak. And usually it's here to guide us, to nudge us in a different direction, to show us a perspective that we might not be aware of, to keep us safe. In human design, intuition primarily comes from the splenic center. And this center is about intuition, instinct, safety. And it's the voice that guides us. It's a very primal part of us, very important part of us. And yet if there's too much noise, we won't be able to hear this voice. It's very instinctual. So let me share a quick story. Years ago, I had a friend who had a court case with ICBC, and she asked me if I would be a witness or a character reference for her. And she said that I would be contacted by her lawyer. And so a couple days later, I got a phone call, and it was someone saying that they were a lawyer for this ICBC case. And the lawyer started to ask questions over the phone. And I just had this feeling. It's like something's not right. There was something off with the tone of the questions, and it didn't make sense. And it was my intuition that spoke this awareness. And the end result was that I started to close off in my answers. I started to become a bit guarded. The conversation finished. I felt like something wasn't right, couldn't quite articulate it. The next day, I got another phone call. And this person was saying, "Oh, I'm the lawyer for your friend, and just like to ask you a few questions." And I was like, what do you mean? Somebody called me yesterday. And we figured out that the opposing counsel had very cleverly, not necessarily misrepresented themselves, but they didn't really make it clear as to which side they were on. They made it sound as if they were on my friend's side when actually they weren't. And obviously that was problematic. However, in hindsight, what I realized was that I didn't reveal anything that was damaging towards her case, because the energy behind the questions that were being asked were not about supporting my friend. They were about making her look bad, which is why my intuition was like, what's going on here? And I listened to my intuition, and my body guided me in that situation. But I didn't understand exactly what had happened until the phone rang the next day. It wasn't until then that it all made sense. And intuition shows up in situations like that, but it also shows up in smaller situations where it's like we have a thought to turn left instead of right. We have a thought to slow down when we're driving. We have a thought to call a friend because something is nudging us to. And in some cases, we never get to find out what the outcome would have been if we had turned right and not left. But in other cases, we phone that friend and we find out that they are so grateful we called because they really needed someone to talk to. So our intuition is always available to us and guiding us if we want to tune into it, if we are in the right energy to tune into it, and if we listen. So if you're starting to get to know your intuition, I think a great way is to just play with it. Hold it lightly. Just notice. Do what you can in terms of a practice to slow your mind down. Meditation can be a great way. Listening to music, being really present when you're doing the dishes. Anything we can do to quiet the mind and create space and to slow our body down, to feel present in the moment. And the gift that we get by doing all those things is that we get connected to our intuition. So I think I'll leave it there. Hopefully there was something that you heard in this audio that is supportive. And I look forward to connecting with you again next time. Bye for now.